Hi there, this is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage. You got me getting my glasses off. I am so thrilled that today is going to be a gorgeous day. Let me pop down here really quick and get my video on so I can see comments as they come up. And I think I turned the sound off. Yes, I managed to. I mean, I still have to click it off here just in case, but I think I've got it off. So that was good. It always kind of scares me when I hear my own voice. It must be, I think I have a really shrill voice. My mother had a very shrill voice, and she learned to control it a lot, but she was a loud person anyway, and so I'm kind of more quiet in general, although you probably wouldn't know that watching these, but you get to kind of see me in my back office as I am. Hi, Freddie. It's nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you, since you're probably the first person on. I noticed your packaging. I love that. That was so nice of you. And I haven't gotten to the distresser yet, but I got it out and read all of my instructions, and I'm ready to start doing it. It's going to be a really nice tool to use for Thanksgiving cards especially, I think. Hi, Marty. Good to see you too. Thank you guys for watching with me. And make sure you share and then post that you did so that I can get you entered in next week's drawing. And then tomorrow, today is going to be tomorrow, I'm going to check out who won last week's drawing because it is gorgeous out there. I was out only a very little bit, and we have our warmer, nice fall temperatures back, and warm is subjective, but for us, anything over, at this time of the year, anything close to 60, and I think it was at least 65 or warmer, I think, yesterday. It was really nice. So anyhow, thank you. So I'm going to make sure I get out today. So I had some fun this weekend with this little Day of Thanks stamp set. The turkey's not quite as, he's more real. He's not so cartoonish as the one in Birds of a Feather, but so this one's more gonna be, I think the reason I got this set was for the feather more than the turkey, actually. And I did really like the Happy Thanksgiving sentiment. That's pretty big, and the other ones are nice too. From our family to yours on this day of thanks, and you fill my heart with gratitude this day and always. I will use those sentiments a lot, so that's why I got it. I did that feather. I tried playing with it in this card that I'm gonna do. I ended up needing to use little tiny feathers. The big feather, I didn't have any big enough elements to. It would be a really good background stamp, so I got out the Raven one to use his little feathers, so that's what we'll be using for that little feather. And then I think I also have a retired set out, but for something else. But anyway, so this little card is just a little pocket card, and it's kind of cute. I've been looking at this Come Together paper, and this particular print wasn't really sure. I like the colors, but wasn't really sure how I wanted to use it. So we are using that and doing a couple of things with it. And then this little project too is another little pockety folding card. So anyway, it's going to be kind of fun and cute, and I hope it works out today. I'm going to have to use the Big Shot a couple of times, I think. My glasses are terribly dirty. So anyway, let me clean those really quick, and then I am going to get us started because I do want to get us out. I hope you guys are going to be able to get outside today too, because maybe you're having good weather as well. That would be nice if you were. So we'll see if I can get my camera set in a way that actually shows things, because I still am having a real time just figuring out where everything needs to be. My camera angle, I think, is just, there we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. I need to see what is where because it's all a little bit backwards when I set it down here. So I have a host code. If anybody wants to place an order in my store, $50 order, I will. If you use the host code, I will send you 5 free Christmas cards. The stamp set that we're using today is this Day of Thanks, and it is $17. If you want to order that, there is the number. The Raven is really cool. It's a Halloween set, and I'm not sure how many people are actually interested in there. Oh, Marty, it's a beautiful day in Virginia. That's great. And I bet, Freddie, it is beautiful where you are too. I'm always a little jealous thinking about you so close to the beach. I know Jeff would definitely love to be able to enjoy that. He's a beach guy. So when I got out this Come Together paper, I loved the teal, and it goes really well with the teal and Pool Party and other colors. But you know, I'm getting a little tired of using teal for my Thanksgiving cards. So today I thought, let's do something a little different. Let's see if we can color it, because I have seen some people that have colored it, and this turned out cute. I probably wouldn't do those particular colors again, but this is something different for today. So I am going to really quick look at what my measurements were for that, because I don't want to color any more than I have to. So let's peek at that. That was 4 1/4. Okay, I thought it was, but I wasn't 100% sure. 4 1/4 and about 5, a little bit less than that, but we will do 5. So this is our new trimmer. I love our new trimmer. It actually trims really good, and so I'm really happy about it. It has it's smooth. It's making really nice cuts, and so anyhow, that doesn't look wide enough to me. It is. Okay, and then 5. It actually has a much larger, arm that comes out, so it goes to 17 inches. I'm thrilled with that, because the shorter arm was a real limitation for me. I like that it's longer. It does not have its storage compartment underneath, but to make up for that, it came with extra blades, so I can live with that. So I'm gonna just want to color this, and I should have gotten out my pens ahead of time. Marty, you live on the lake? Yeah, more time to craft for sure. If you lived on a farm, there would be just so much work to do all the time. That would be a real challenge, and it's not the kind of work you could put off at all either. Okay, so here is light Calypso, Coral Calypso, and let's see what else. I know I used my peach colors and pumpkin pie, and I might have used, did not write it down. I know I did not use Pink Pirouette. I did not use Rosy Rococo either. Oh, I know I used Ivory. Okay. All right, so those are probably the only colors I used, but I'm going to grab out my Light Cajun Craze as well. It's a blending pen that I use a lot of, and so we will get that out. I do think I might have, my Petal Pink was getting a little thin, and I grabbed a Copic that's about the same color just to make sure I had enough to keep us going. So I'm just going to take my, I'm actually going to take the dark Calypso Craze, because I'd kind of like these pumpkins to be a little bit more on the pinky side on the bottom rather than orange. And so we're just going to try to get a little bit of color in the bottom of those pumpkins and on the top. And I can see right now this is not the color I started with, but I'm not going to worry about that. It's going to be just fine because we're going to end up using quite a bit of color anyway. And the leaves do overlap the pumpkins really nicely, so I'm sort of trying to miss them, but I see that I've already colored over several, so again, not an exact science, does not have to be perfect, so thankfully. I am definitely not perfect. In our church group this year, we're doing a pilot group, and this week we were supposed to share our strongholds, which I was fully prepared to do that, but to tell you the truth, I have so many of things that qualify for that. I wouldn't really call them strongholds because to me that indicates that I'm not letting God manage those, and I actually am trying to. So I'm always prepared, but I'm never really I'm not fully invested in sometimes what I'm saying, in the sense that, yes, these are things I've had trouble with in the past and continue to. I wish I could say that I've cured, God's cured me. I'm all well. I'm good. Doesn't work like that for me. And so I guess I could call them strongholds, but on the other hand, to me, they are evidence that I need lots of God's grace. And yes, I am working on them, trying to do better. And it's like, what do I name? Got so many of them. So I was fully prepared, but did not have to share because our class took so long, we didn't even get to it. Imagine that. So my wonderful husband gets to have the pleasure of walking us through that next week because they're taking turns, which is always nice. So no one has to be the bad guy all the time, keeping us on track, making sure we're not talking too long. Okay, so now that I've put this was dark pumpkin pie, layered some dark color on. Now I'm going to just use my light pumpkin pie, and I'm going to use it somewhat lightly because I am going to keep going, and I don't want this to be... Now, it's not these lines, around the edge, these green ones that the pumpkins are outlined with are not very dark, so I kind of need to be a little bit smooth as I go around the outside, but if it goes outside of the outline a little bit, I'm not too worried about that either. It's gonna be fine. This is just a little background paper. And if I miss a spot in the middle, that's actually a good thing. I should probably try to do that more and just leave a little bit of white because I definitely am going to be wanting to use it for coloring. Okay, so we'll just try to get through this as quickly as I possibly can. It does take a while, and if you rush your coloring, it does look like you did. I mean, if I was doing this on my own here without you having to painstakingly watch me, I would be a little more careful. And little more careful is the key word because I'm definitely not gonna. There are things that I like to take a long time to color and have them look really good, but something like this is going to be, again, it's a background paper. I'm gonna layer colors on, so I'm gonna get lots of chances, and it doesn't have to be perfect this first time through. Okay, so we got that, and now I want to put on some, we're going to put on some dark petal pink first, just to see how dark that is. Not very. Okay, so dark petal, I think I must have used more dark petal pink as I was beginning my layers, and I could have just gone straight to the light pumpkin pie. So we probably will use the light pumpkin or light petal pink on the leaves. So let's get those going. Ooh, I missed a pumpkin. How did I do that? That's funny. It's like right in the middle. Light pumpkin pie. Okay. I missed 2 pumpkins. This is the other thing. It always fascinates me what I miss. Oh, there was a big leaf there. That's probably one reason I missed it. Okay. So we will use our petal pink and just go over these leaves. The darker colors I'll be able to come in on top of my pumpkin a little bit. With this light one, it's not going to show at all, unfortunately. This weekend I had a really good opportunity in the store to see the better side of humanity. I think last week I was probably whining about a lot of people that I came across. I think last week I just happened to meet all the crabby people, all the nuisance people in the Tri-Cities, and this week, like, they were all gone. They all stayed home. It was really, really sweet. We had a nice week, no problems. Jeff had some teacher meetings that I'm sure were tedious, but he didn't say too much about those, so I think in general, the year's going along really nice. Okay, so we'll just color in those highlight spots, my pink, and kind of throw on a little bit more on the leaves that are on the edges, and I don't have to be too careful about. Okay, now we will try to add some pink, because I do want some pink. So this is the light Calypso Coral, and we're gonna be just bold here and stick this on and then see how it looks. I might just do one and let it dry and see what I think. Because I think what I did is I put this color on and then I went over the veins with something else. That's not looking quite pink enough. I bet you I got out my Flirty Flamingo, because Flirty Flamingo is one of my typical go-tos for adding a pink layer. Oh, and it has a nice light colored one, so that's probably what I added. Okay. All right. Oh, too light. This is probably not bad, but we'll save that one for over the top. Let's do dark Flirty Flamingo. Oh, yes, this is what I used. Flirty Flamingo. Okay. We're back in business, and we'll just add this on here. Okay. All right, so again, I'm going to have to be a little careful about my outlines. I don't want my leaves to look too sloppy. But with this color, I can just go on top of the pumpkin, and then it'll start to show like a leaf. Anyway, this is just something you can do to get your designer series paper. If you have a lighter one and you're finding that you're not using it, if it's a light one and you can color it, you might be able to get it to a color that you're gonna use. I hate to see my designer series papers just sitting on the shelf unused, and then when the season is done and they've got new DSP out and I want the new stuff, this weekend I'm actually going to use up a lot. Well, I guess it's not this weekend, it's next weekend. I'm going to use up a lot of my old DSP because we have a church event that our benevolence program's sponsoring. So I'm going to take a lot of that, and people will be able to use great paper that they would have had to have paid a lot for 2 and 3 years ago. And they get to use it for a small donation, so that'll be good. Or free if they cannot afford the donation. So I'm hoping that at our church I can get some people. There's a lot of people who craft and do cards, but they don't send them too much. And it's like, well, I love that you are doing that and it's wonderful, but please send them to someone. Not as much fun if you don't. Okay, now my pink ones here were much lighter. So I am thinking I used this as the vein, and then I used my peach probably to go over it so that it wasn't as dark. But because it is dark, we're going to just go ahead with our pumpkin pie for our veins and try to get a little bit of dimension on those. And it's going to turn out a little different. That's okay. This is what happens anyway, because when you're using things at home, you never have all the stuff the demonstrators got anyway. So you have to substitute your own items. And that's part of the fun, is figuring out, oh, okay, that actually, I liked that better, huh? It's something that you had at home that you used, you might like better anyway. Okay, I'm just using this petal pink to try to get it to wash out a little. It's pretty dark. This is such a light one. It's not a lifter, but it does kind of act like a lifter almost. Okay. All right, this is going to have to do. And then I think I grabbed, ooh, I bet you, I have a new Copic pen. I don't think this is the one I used, but it looks very bright green. So if I had one of my Stampin' Up! Ones handy, I'd just use it, because I know that we have a good bright green one too. But this, I've got these, I bought 3 Copics. They're sitting right here on my desk. I haven't really used them much. And I keep them on hand just because there are colors Stampin' Up! Doesn't have. And I like to work with a lot of colors. Okay, so now for the stem, we definitely want to use crumb cake. So let me throw these over here on the side and find our crumb cake. That is crumb cake. Okay, let's try the light one, although the light one's pretty light. No, it's actually quite dark. I must have used ivory. I know I had ivory out. That's probably what I used. What are you? You are ivory. No, you are petal pink. You are ivory. Okay, it was ivory. And then I used ivory for the stems on the little maple leaves as well. Oh, there's one more. And they all the maple leaf stems are all going in the same direction, which I thought was interesting. Usually there's some variance. Okay, so that is the paper colored. And then to do this little pocket, I got out my layering oval dies. Now these are ones that I've gotten fairly recently, and I only got them for the scallops because I actually have other dies that are the stitched layers that have the stitching. I prefer the stitched look, but I went ahead and broke down to get this. I wanted to have today, I wanted to use that for our mat on that, and then I also used it on the inside of this one. So when I get out the Big Shot to cut these out, then I just need to cut out my other one as well. So let's make sure I know what oval I'm using first. Not that one. It is this one. Okay, so that's the one we're going to use. And let's grab, and that's my stitched oval that I'm going to use. And I think all my other ovals are punched out already, so I don't need to do a whole bunch of them. Marty, you've never colored your DSP. I saw something on, I haven't ever before either. I saw somebody had a card on Pinterest where they had done that, and probably with this paper. And I didn't care for what they had colored it, but it just gave me the idea of trying to get a different orange combination. And anyway, so we're gonna set this aside for a minute because I do need to cut this one. Now this one's a little flap. It lifts up like this, and then it opens like this, and we've got this little handy dandy pocket, and then this is an insert. So I've already got my insert sort of here. I mean, I'm going to use this as my insert. I was playing with this design and not sure what I was going to do. And so before I totally mess it all up, let me get my dimensions the same as what I've got here, because I'm going to just end up squaring it off. I thought I would have a little flap like this, and then after I got going on it, realized I don't really like that anyway. So we're just going to fold this down so I can get these dimensions relatively accurate. All right, and then this one, we'll just trim to the size that I need it to be. And I might end up adjusting it because it will have to go into my three and a quarter approximate. It'll have to go in that pocket. Ooh, I don't want to take that much off, do I? Oh, it's squared off, so yes, I can do that. If I wasn't having it squared off, I wouldn't be able to just do that, but it is. And then my little flap is right about that length, so we will just cut off that part. Okay. Now that part is cut, and then we will use, we're going to just take this and make a little mat behind it and glue it on there. That's how that's going to work. And then this part, let me show you how I made this part. Uh-oh, you know what I just did? Ha! No! I need a whole 12 inches on this, and now we're going to have to do it different because my flap to flap is cut off. This is what happens when I don't have written instructions. So I'm going to just trim it across, and then I'm going to have to add a flap. Well, this one that I actually cut off and didn't, shouldn't have. And it's going to be a little short too because I did that, but it's not going to matter. It's not a big deal. In fact, what I can do, since I'm sort of freaking out over it, is I could just do it on white. But I don't really want to because I like this. So, oh well, this is what happens. I only have one sheet left, and I did order one more pack, but I don't have it yet. So we're just going to have to make do with what it is. So, let's see here. We've got 3 and about 3, not quite 7/8. It's really more of a 3. Ooh, my finger. I hope it's okay. I cut it really bad this weekend. So I'm sorry. I should put a Band-Aid on it. It's probably going to gross you out. I was slicing fruit for a baby shower we were doing, and 4 3/4. Okay. Of course, I can't ever do anything like that without slicing myself really badly. I was trying hard not to also. Okay. 4 3/4. So yes, my nail, it even got my nail a little bit. Right. Okay. So now I'll have to just, I'm not going to like that, but I'm going to have to do it anyway. I guess I don't have to have a fold. Oh, and it is attached. Oh, woohoo. Oh, joy. So I've attached this one. Oh, good. I did it. At least I did it to the one that it doesn't matter so much, because that one, I thought I had it flipped out, but I don't. So good, good, good. We're all good. That can just be my little pocket. Oh, all right. So we are gonna fold this like this so that I don't trim my flap poorly, because I don't really have any fudge room now. All right, so this is going to be like this, and I need my little scalloped trim here, okay? So let me grab these dies. Get this out of the way. Okay, so Marty, this is it says, "You fill my heart with gratitude this day and always," and I've left this blank so that I can, you know, put a thank you in it. On the inside, what we're doing is I am going to use, what we're gonna do with this card is we're gonna end up cutting out this oval shape. And oh dear, you know what? I'm gonna have to color some more because I do need a whole oval for that. So I'll have to do another one. Maybe I'll color that one better this time. And anyway, so this little oval fits here. This says, "From your family to ours on this day of thanks." So this card actually would be a really good gift card. You know, there are families that you send money to on Thanksgiving for Thanksgiving meals and whatnot. And oftentimes we send gift cards for things like that so they can get what they need, and instead of providing turkeys and whatnot. So that is what I will be using this little card for. Let me grab my Big Shot, and I think I need to move this up so it's not quite... Well, hopefully that's gonna work. I'll keep an eye on it and see if that does work for you. And my table's gonna wiggle because I had to move my camera back onto this desk. I tried moving it to the side and it didn't quite work, so. Yeah, Marty, I know you probably do, and I bet Freddie does too. A lot of us do, and it's really nice to do that for people, and so this is a nice little card that we can include with it. All right, so let me make sure I'm doing this right. So this is, where did I put it? Here it is. I've got too many things all over, and I'm losing my dies on the floor. So let's move this die over here so I know what I'm doing. Okay, so this flap is going to be cut out here like this. Now, sometimes your paper is too big, and then if that were the case, I would have to do various things to keep it from cutting, you know, up top. Because I think when I originally did this, I didn't have this cut. I took a whole piece like this, and I just cut it out like this, but it was a long piece. I'd colored the whole thing, and that's why I ended up with that oval. And in order to do it that way, I had to mask off some of the dye. Anyway, I'm probably confusing you with what I'm saying, so just don't worry about it. I'm sure I'll have an opportunity to show that at some other time. Okay, so we will see how that worked. All right, pretty good. My oval wasn't in there perfectly. As you can see in the corner here, it could have been over there more, but oh well. And then we have our inner flap. It has a straight flap. Okay, let's see if this is my inner flap. Now my inner flap is going to show weirdly because I did that. And so I think what I might do is just recut. We're going to just do that again really quick. kind of doing it off camera here just so that I can get it done quickly. 4.5 inches. All right, so we'll try that again. Let me fold it. And this time I'll try to get my little oval in there better, because that, I didn't like how that turned out. We want that to be centered better. And I actually don't even want it down as far as that either. Okay. When it's on the side like this, it's harder for that magnet to really grab it. All right, before I roll it, I'm gonna eyeball it again. It's the old measure twice, right, rule? Because everything moves every time I stick a plate on. Just did it again. So I'm gonna have to pull it all out here so I can actually lay that plate right on top. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. All right, because if I lay the plate right on top rather than slide it in, it's going to cooperate a little bit better with me. Oops, I don't know if I got it through all the way. I think I did. Okay, there we go. That looks much better. All right, so that is fitting better, and now my other pocket will work better too, and I might even be able to rescue this because I want it lower anyway, so I'll just rescue this one. But I did not like how it turned out. We will use it. Oops, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough of an edge there, but I'll just trim it if it doesn't, because this one's the inner one. It's not gonna matter so much. Thank you, Marty. I'm glad you like this. This is, it's pretty cute. It's a little bit funky the way I'm making it. I'm sure you could probably do it with many fewer steps. I'm not making mistakes at the beginning would have helped too, but I'm gonna just use my scissors to smooth my little pinking things there. There we go. Just so that I don't have to mess with that. And now I have a nice little pocket. I could probably just shove it in there. Okay, so now I don't even have to really worry about my pocket. I can just put my adhesive in here and we're all good. So anyhow, sometimes mistakes work out all right. All right, so that one is done. Now let's go back to this one because I still need to do this little divot here. And I want to make sure I don't, we'll turn it this way. Then my magnet won't have such a problem staying put. Since this piece is smaller, I can do that. Okay. All right, now that's done. The only thing is that I still do need to color a piece, so I'm going to position my magnet where I want it. I mean my die where I want it. Let's see, maybe this piece will be better. No, that's a little too close. I don't want to have to cut it again. So we'll stick that there and cut this out, and then I just have to color that little one. what's going on here. Woohoo! Okay, so I think we are done with our Big Shot. Put my dies away before I lose them, because that is what happens. I've toyed with the idea of getting those magnetic sheets underneath these, and I have not bothered to do it because I think putting them back on the magnetic sheet would be a step I probably wouldn't even take anyway. I'm sort of one of those throw it in there and then find it when you get there. And I'm very organized in some ways, but in that way, probably not. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to need our cutting board out because we need to do this base card. And that, I believe, this paper is, this one is very close to light pumpkin, or is to pumpkin pie, but it is not exactly pumpkin pie. This is Calypso Coral. This, I had like 2 sheets of this left. I'm not exactly sure. I liked it a little bit better than the pumpkin pie one. It was a little darker. And it would look fine too, but I actually preferred this, and I had to get rid of it anyway, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and just do this color. Let me grab a piece of pumpkin pie out for you, and then you can see the difference. It actually might be a bit more vibrant with the pumpkin pie. Should we try it? Because my pumpkins are darker on this one, so let's go ahead and grab out the pumpkin pie. We'll just be daring. And we'll do that. Okay, so we have got, we'll use we'll use this to see how much we are cutting. So this is, oh boy, did I not do it exact? 8 1/4 length. Okay, and I did it on white, as you can see, and then just put this in pieces. You know, I did it on white, but I'm gonna go ahead and just do it today with this. So 8 1/4, and the width is 4 1/2. We're just a hair bigger than that. So we'll go 4 1/2. Oops, that's 4 yeah, that's 4 1/2. I'm getting used to the new cutter, and so I'm having to double check my dimensions quite a bit. All right, 4 1/4, what did I say? 8 1/4. No, that's, yeah, 8 1/4. And then we are going to score it at about 2 7/8, it looks like. It does not have to be exact. 2 7/8. Oh, I think we want it to be a little bigger than that. Okay, so that is gonna flop down like that. Maybe that was too big. Let's see. It was. Let's do it again, because I don't want it to cover up all of that. But that's too wide. Ah, just trim it. There we go. All right. So my card's a little shorter because I did that, but oh well. And then we're going to take this and just make our little pocket on the inside, like this. Okay, so to do our little pocket, I just need my snail. Where are you, snail? There you are. Okay. So we're just gonna put a line of snail. Oops, I have it written which side goes up because I always forget. And I think I hope I'm not running out. Usually it's just coming right out without any problem at all. Okay. Now this is the part that I dislike, is getting it on here without making a big mess of it. Okay, so now we have our little pocket, and this is just a little piece of white I'm sticking in there as the note. I didn't do anything special with that. And then our label is just one of our little stitched labels. And I used this, here's to those who inspire us and don't even know it. Now this is a Happy Thanksgiving, Let's Get Together card. And so if you have a company or, and this is from Part of My Story. This is a celebration stamp that we did last year. So this is currently retired, but I liked this little sentiment. And this actually went with one of our tags punches, I'm sure. And I just don't even remember what tag punch it was. And it doesn't matter because I actually like these ovals anyway. I'm looking for my terracotta tile. Terracotta tile is one of the colors that I just go to all the time. It's like one of my favorites. So this is the sentiment we're gonna stamp on here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna use my dimensionals on the back. Oops, I do want to put those dimensionals more on the bottom because I don't want it to interfere with my note that I'm sticking in there. Okay. And then the Happy Thanksgiving is the one on our Day of Thanks. I love that. It's so big. Isn't that nice? Ooh. Good, I didn't get my terracotta tile on there. I was afraid I did. So I'm going to use my big long block for this. We're just stamping it right on the bottom. I'm going to try to get it up more into the, white part, because my pumpkins were just a little bit darker for this. Thank you, Marty. And then this part of it. Oh, I have to do my turkey. So let's stamp our turkey because he's going on the same size stitched oval die, and I stamped it with the terracotta tile, and I think I might have stamped it off. It was pretty dark when I stamped it the first time, so I'm gonna do a little sample stamp on my scrap paper before I stick it on that label. Oh, where's that? There it is. Let's make sure I get that cleaned off and put away. Okay, I'm gonna remove this so I can use my scrap paper. Get your little turkey out there. So he's pretty cute, but I think I like last year's little pheasants. It's nice. I like him, but he is pretty dark, so I think I stamped it off to get that. So we'll do that. Okay, so I just stamped off once to get the color I wanted, because otherwise he was just going to be too dark. You put washi tape. Yeah, I have used washi tape on it, and it works really well when you're doing your dies. And I should probably use it more often because it actually is very helpful. On Part of My Story, there's this Let's Get Together and Giggle, and that was the part I used for the Let's Get Together. I just stamped that on white, on a scrap of white, and then trimmed it. So we'll just do that like that. And then just trimmed off the other words because I don't want the giggle. Whoever gets this card is getting the let's get together, and it wouldn't be to giggle because it would be a Thanksgiving thing, and I'm sure there would be a lot of giggling and all that. But if I was giving this to a little girl or another woman, it'd be fine. But I'll just put a little bit of snail on there, and we're just going to stick that under the turkey like so. And then if it's off a little bit, like it, you know, tiny corner, I think I used my label upside down, but that's okay. All right, so now we're done with that part, and clean off some of this mess. We're using that, this is Calypso Coral, I believe. Let me put away my blocks. And we have what size square did I do? A 3-inch square of that. Yeah, I like that little saying too. It's cute. But you probably have grandkids that you can do it with. My grandkids aren't old enough to get a card and read it themselves yet. So but it's a really good one for your little granddaughters, especially. I guess the boys would secretly appreciate it too. It would have to be secretly. All right, and so then we just want a smaller square. So since that was a 3-inch square, we'll just go with a 2 7/4 inch square of the pumpkin pie. Should be about the right size. Okay, and then this, I'm gonna stick this on here. If I can get it on there, right? There we go. And then a couple of dimensionals on my little turkey. Oop. We're putting it on the diagonal. So we'll stick that like that. Okay. So as you can see, it is a bit more vibrant, and I think I do prefer the other color, but it's all good. And then we've got this is our Rococo Rose Gold. Oh, I love this stuff. It's so nice. Oh, my battery's getting low, so I might not be able to finish my other card very easily, but that's okay. So I just wrapped it around and tied it in a little knot. I forgot to charge my battery this morning. That sounds like I forgot to charge my battery. The battery for my phone, that is. My battery gets charged pretty well every night. I sleep really well. I'm sorry for you that don't, because that's awful. There's nothing you can do about it. On the few nights I don't sleep well, it's like, oh my goodness, what is going on with myself? Because I can't sleep, and there's nothing you can do to really make yourself sleep well. All right, so my bow is not cooperating perfectly, but there, that's better. And then I'll just trim off the ends. It's a pretty stiff ribbon. I love it though, it's gorgeous. Sometimes it gets oddly crinkled like that did. All right, then now that that's on, then I can stick my I've only got a couple more dimensionals over here, so we want those more on the top, because it's gonna hang off the bottom here. Like this. Okay. And then if I'm concerned about it not closing properly, because I didn't use my, I should have used my bone folder to burnish it really well. I didn't do that, and so it's having a hard time. I could just put a tiny bit of snail, just even a tiny bit is gonna keep it down enough to keep it closed, and it's not really gonna interfere with the opening or shutting. It did tear it a tiny bit, so you know, you might want to use discretion on that. It's another reason I would probably use my little bit of rubber cement. Okay, so then I did the feather from the Raven. I did it in my Groovy Guava. We have some Groovy Guava embossing powder. It was pretty light, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with the copper. It's very pretty. I love that copper. I tried the Groovy Guava because I'm tired of using the copper. I use it all the time. It's one of my favorites, but I do think it looks better. We're just going to use that on a scrap of this. And the Versamark. So we're going to just do 2 little feathers. Oops, let me grab my paper that we're going to use to shape our excess powder into. And I did not do my embossing buddy. I kind of forgot he's not over here, and I don't think it's going to matter too much because these feathers are pretty thick, and I'm going to cut it out. So even if there were little flicks of copper embossing there, I wouldn't care. I'm gonna just cut that off anyway. Oops. All right. Get rid of my excess copper. All right. And we'll put that away. And then we'll just see how that looks. I love it. It's going to be good. This is a really old heat gun I've had for ages and ages. So what kind of, thank you, Marty, what kind of traditions do you guys do for Thanksgiving? Because Jeff used to watch the football game. I don't know that he will because we don't really have TV. He'd have to find it on the computer, and usually for a big game like that, that's not so easy to do. So we do not, I don't know, we're pretty flexible. Our kids have moved away. We never know who's going to be with us. I have to wait a minute, but I'm going to use these fancy scissors to cut out the feather. And then I'm going to just stick 2 of those little feathers right there. And I'm going to set this aside just for a second because I want to make sure that dries really well before I do anything like that. And then we're going to put our last little pocket card together here and be done. Okay, so I'm going to just use some snail to close up my pocket on this. Okay. And then we'll just stick it in there. Now it's going to be a little larger than I'd probably like. You see, it's going to hang out a tiny bit. So I'm going to even though I don't have much room to trim there, I'm going to do it anyway. I'll trim it from this end down here. Just because I don't want it hanging out down there. If I had centered my oval properly, it wouldn't have done that. Okay, so that will hang together in there a little bit better. Let's just cradle it before I close it up. There we go. Okay. There. And then my oval, did I cut out? I thought I cut out an oval of this. Ah, there you are. There you are. Thought I did. And this. And so we just need some... Oh, I did not cut that out, though. So I do need to do the pretty peacock with the... Okay, you eat. Freddie, you're so funny. And then you eat yourself. You're funny. Michelle, it's good to see you. Thanks for watching. Marty, you watch the games. Everyone comes. Big deal. Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, we have friends that do that. I'm always a little envious and ask them. I haven't asked them, can I come to your house? Can I do Thanksgiving with your family? Because I don't really want to. It's just a matter of, yeah, it would be nice, but it's not going to happen, you know. It's not, they have their own deals going, so we don't live close enough to really, I don't travel well in the fall because I'm always afraid of snow, and I'm kind of a big chicken, and Jeff likes to stay home, so we're pretty flexible. We'll just see. But this year, Freddie, I am going to eat, and I'm going to be happy to do so. That is going to be my favorite tradition this year for sure. I'm going to enjoy being able to do that since I couldn't last year at all. I also am planning to eat some Halloween candy. But I'm going to pay for it because every time this happens and I eat anything, I pay for it by having to starve myself for a couple of days. But oh well. All right, so we've got that little one done, and we just need to color, and I think I want to try coloring this the correct way this time. So we will start with our Petal Pink. Where are you, Petal Pink? Light Petal Pink, there you are. So we'll start with you on the pumpkin. Ah, yes, this is what I should have written down. You start with your Petal Pink. Actually, I know I started with a dark color, but now I'm not sure what that dark color was. I'm a little scared to try. It must have been Light Pumpkin Pie. Haha, it was. Light Pumpkin Pie. This is looking much more like what I did when I first started doing this card. So it's going to be a little different than the other side, huh? I should be doing it exactly the same. Let's see. Light Calypso Coral. I think you are way too dark. I'm going to sneak in here a little red Copic just to try to blend that pumpkin in a little bit more, and then we'll put in a little pink. I would use my Petal Pink, only my Petal Pink's not as juicy as this Copic. I don't use this as often, so it's very juicy. All right, and then we need actual pink. So this is Light Flirty Flamingo. We better go easy on it. Not sure about how much of that I want. Okay, we are gonna do the veins. Okay, and then we'll do, that's Light Pumpkin Pie. We want Light Petal Pink. But that needs to be a little bit darker. Doesn't it? Calypso Coral, no. Light Flirty Flamingo. Guess we'll just have to break down and do it all. Light Flirty Flamingo. Because I do want it to be more pink than that. And then we'll just get some dark Flirty Flamingo to do the veins with. That's Light Calypso Coral, Light Flirty Flamingo. There we go. All right, that was it. Light Petal Pink, Light Flirty Flamingo, and a little tiny bit of light pumpkin pie, like on the top, I think is what I did. And then I used I would be, if I had a lot of it, using my Petal Pink again instead of this, just to kind of smooth that out. Okay, so that is how I did that, and originally to get that lighter color. And then we need the ivory for the stem, and the little leaf stem. And I don't think I have a comparable Stampin' Up. This is a very bright, it's YG06. It's called, like, I don't know, cadmium yellow or something. It's called yellow. It's not, although it's obviously green, it's just a really bright fluorescent one, and we don't have a blending pen that color. Okay, so that is going to be, oh, on the other card. We're done with that one other than the feathers. Let's get those feathers on. Okay, so with these fancy scissors, I can kind of cut a little quicker. I can't really cut around my stem with them very well. But they do actually cut around the feather pretty well. It does cut a little of your feather off, but it gives you a bit of a rugged edge without having to, you know, painstakingly do that. All right, and I did an extra one for me for later. All right, and then those guys just get a couple of mini dimensionals on. And then you are done. Oops, I didn't get the backing off apparently. There, cute. All right, and then this one's getting there. Just have a couple more steps. Uh-oh, what did I do with my other peacock piece? Ooh, and will you be big enough now? I might need to grab you out another one. Hi, Tricia. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Light Rococo Rose. I did not use Light Rococo Rose, although it usually is the one that I grab out. But it's pretty dark, so I didn't use that one. Now my flap is gonna have to maybe be a little bit shorter. I don't necessarily want it to be this long anyway. So I might, although I need a bigger label. So let me grab out another piece of Flirty Flamingo, or peacock, our pretty peacock. And I am going to make this simple for myself and not even bother measuring. I will just stick it on here like this, leaving a little bit of a border because I don't need a big border, just a little bit. And then I'll just trim it. Oops, I almost trimmed off my my paper there. That would have been really bad because I don't have much of that left. Okay, I've got all these pieces all over. So now if this doesn't slide in easily because of my tape, I can just trim the sides down because I That's what I did with my my sample. I just trimmed it, and since I've got these nice little lines on the gingham, it helps. I can just trim that without having to really measure or anything. It's pretty easy to just cut down a straight line. And then I can trim it to get it to the size I need it to slide in there. Okay. And then on the inside of my guard, let's get the inside here. Oh, I forgot to stamp my little feathers again. So this is the feathers from the, we're using the Day of Thanks stamp set, but the little tiny feather is from the Raven, which, where did I put you, stamp sets? Because I had you right here. And where did you disappear to? Did you fall on the floor somehow? Didn't think I heard a big loud noise, but I'm not seeing where I put the feather. Oh, there you are. Okay, so I just used the little feather from, and the little feather's out anyway, because I used it to emboss. And we just will use a little pretty peacock on the bottom and on the top. And I actually just did it, I didn't stamp off, but I think I might like to have stamped it off. It's pretty dark. So I think stamping it off looked a little bit better. We'll leave that out because we'll be using that. And then that just goes on to your insert, and then you have a place to write, love and kisses from the crows or whatever. Jeff wouldn't let me. He always is telling me, stop, I don't love anything. He doesn't love anything on Facebook. If I've written it, I might put I love it, because I do. There are many things that I love, so I'll put that on there, but those are all from me. He doesn't love anything. All right, and then the little colored one right there, isn't that cute? And then I actually used a tiny little stitched oval, but I forgot to grab it out, and I see this is handy, so we will use this little label for the From Our Family to Yours. So that's from this Day of Thanks set. We'll just take our little feather off. Thanks, Michelle. See you later. And Marty's gone too. Bye. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, it is time to go. I'm sure a whole bunch of you are having to go, especially if you live over on the other side of the United States, because it would be definitely getting close to dinner time for you. All right. We don't have any Halloween or Thanksgiving traditions. We actually have more Halloween traditions, which is kind of funny. Being Christians, I know many Christians don't even celebrate Halloween, but we've always enjoyed it. It's a fun holiday, and we aren't, into the scary parts of it. We like the old stuff, so we have probably more of those. And I don't know that Jeff even did it all that much in California as a kid. I don't know. I think he did. He seems to enjoy it as much as I do. So we like that. The little trick-or-treaters coming to the door, the candy, the Halloween decorations, although we don't do that all that much anymore. We used to do a bit more of it, but now that the kids are gone, I'm not into it all that much. And they've just made them so creepy now. It's sort of spoiled it for me. Okay, so that little label goes in there. The flap goes on the outside. Okay, and then we are going to stick dimensionals on both of these. I've got an abundance of mini dimensionals out, it looks like. Wow, maybe we'll just use those. Again, I need to stick it more on the... They stick to me more than to the... There we go. All right. That's out. And I love this ribbon. This ribbon is the Pretty Peacock, Pretty Peacock Green Apple, I suppose. Really like it. It's pretty. Okay, and then one more little label using the You Fill My Heart with Gratitude. With this again, Pretty Peacock. We had more traditions for Thanksgiving when our kids were home. It's funny how all those things change so much. Oh, I didn't put my ribbon underneath, and I have to do that. So let's peel that off. We'll go ahead and stick my label on there after I get that on, because I need to put the ribbon on here. So I'm going to just take I need the tag to be where it's going to go. Okay, and then we're going to just stick couple of pieces of snail, and then you just artfully place your ribbon however you want it. You might need a little more tape. There, okay, so that's a little different than I originally had it. Now I need to add some more dimensionals. I'll just stick them right on here this time. So I want to make sure they help hold on my ribbon a little bit too. We used to always have Jeff's, well, not always, but a lot of times we had Jeff's brother come over for Thanksgiving. So probably that is more of a tradition than anything. It's just, you know, getting together with whatever family member is available. There can be different all the time. All right. There we go. Oh, very cute. And that goes in there, and that goes like that. All right, I finally finished. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it very much. Make sure you share, and I think everybody has, and they have written shared, and I appreciate that. Tomorrow, I will definitely get on and see who won the drawing from last week. And I'm going to flip my camera up, and it says it is a low battery, so I do not know how well this is going to work, but I think everything's working okay, even though it's probably struggling. And I hope you guys have a great day. Let's see. Let me peek here really quick. Oh, yes, Freddie, yes, your family is spread over. And you know what? Ours is not, but it still doesn't matter. So, you know, that's the way it goes, isn't it? And that's okay. You probably have people at church you can get together with if you want to. We do. But, you know, actually, Jeff and I are fine on our own. We enjoy having a day just to relax, just us too. So anything works. All right. Really quick, there's this Christmas rose stamp set. It's pretty cute. The paper is nice. It has, when I looked through the paper, the paper has a lot of gold outlined, but it's not raised. So if you want stuff to be embossed with a raised edge, you will not like the paper for that as much, although it is foil, so it's pretty. And one nice thing about the paper is that if you're going to only color all your Christmas roses pink and red, that's done for you, so you wouldn't even have to. The stamp comes in 2 pieces. It's quite large. Will fill a whole card, and you can color it any color you want. Plus, that one is rubber. the outline, but the inner part is photopolymer, so it'll be easy to place. So I am going to do that one next week. We'll see how that turns out. I'm excited to use that one. Maybe I'll use my distressing thing on it too for the edges. That would be pretty. All right, you guys have a great day. I will see you later. Bye. Bye. My camera is probably not shutting off because it says low battery. Let me close. Try